Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole Podcast. I am your host, CSD Fantasy. We are back. Welcome, Fantasy Faithfuls, to another episode of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole Podcast. My name is CSD Fantasy, and I'm flanked by the one and only Nick Faber. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I am fantastic. We had a hiatus there, but we're back, and it's the playoffs time, baby. Playoffs. So I'm excited. Playoffs. So as Jim Morris said it best, I believe. I could be completely wrong. That's not the right coach. I don't know. Someone said it great. Let's go and talk about some fantasy playoffs, baby.
Sure thing. And I hope, like I usually do when the show starts, I ask the viewers if the sound is good. And as you might know, if you followed us before, this is a live podcast, so feel free to interrupt us at any point, even though we have a fantastic show lined up for everybody. So let's see if, I know that Mello is in the chat, so let's see what he says about the sound. I know he has some questions lined up for us straight away as well.
Oh, he's like, screw the sound. I'm coming in hot. You guys have been out for 3 weeks. I got questions galore. I love it.
As soon as I announced that we were back, I got a message like 3 hours ago from Mello saying, "Finally,
we're here though.
We are where they at though, and we are right here. Sound is good, is confirmed. Let the show begin." But no, actually, before we get into today's show, I would like to remind you to hit that like button. Please share this on social media to help us get the word out there. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out the Patreon page down below for exclusive content and personal fantasy predictions. And lastly, head over to csdfantasy.com for the latest on playoff preparation outside of this podcast. And tomorrow for the score prediction and risk analysis for week 14. But now, to the news. We'll get into the questions in the chat, but first we only have one news item today, so I wanted to start with that as we always do, and it's that it's not, I don't believe it's 100% confirmed, but Eli Manning will most likely start. Hey cutie. Eli Manning will most likely start against the Eagles with quarterback Daniel Jones in a walking boot. What do you say about that, Nick?
I mean, I actually just saw Darius Slayton on my waiver wire in one of my leagues, and with Eli here, it doesn't make me happy. Like I didn't pick up Slayton. I don't want him. Eli's not gonna give me a lot of hype. It's not like we're seeing an improvement. I don't know if we're gonna see. I don't know if it's like a downgrade per se, but there was a tweet that went out. This Saquon Barkley's had 0 100-yard rushing games since Eli Manning left. So if anything, maybe this gets Saquon back on the track. Who the Giants got this week? I can't remember.
Eagles.
Well, Saquon's probably not going to get back on track. But Eli comes out, throws 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 250 yards. Take it for what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because with Daniel Jones, I was super excited.
Right, it's a great matchup.
Start. Blanking. Sterling Shepard.
Yep.
Yes, he was. I was looking at the numbers for Slayton and Shepard. I was gonna do a video on Shepard. This is gonna be the game. The Eagles just hand out points like Santa to wide receivers. This is fantastic. Look at that tree behind Nick as well.
Just put it up. Like we got done about 5 minutes ago and was like, I gotta do a podcast. Quick, everyone run. That's why we saw my daughter. She was not in bed yet.
She's too excited already.
Right, but anyways, like Santa, the Eagles do give up points on points. Yes, it was a great matchup, wasn't it? But how do you feel with Eli in now?
I'm more leaning like you with Saquon, and a little bit more to Golden Tate.
Yeah.
Instead of Sterling Shepard, I know they haven't played as much, but I feel like Eli is the check down king.
Is Ingram? Last I saw, Ingram was questionable. Do we have any new word on him? Do we know?
I have him as questionable, but not confirmed either or. I still have a projection for him, and it updates continuously. If his status changes to out or IR or something like that, I'll get a notification.
Right. But as of right now, it's questionable because I do
Yeah.
like Evan Ingram if he's playing against Philly, but that's obviously like a no-brainer if you have him on your team.
Yeah, I would say so as well. They're ranking pretty average
But yeah, I mean,
against.
it's week 14, and the biggest news right now is Eli Manning like starting for the Giants. Like this. It's been an odd NFL season. I know we've missed the last couple of weeks, but like Gardner Minshew's back starting for the
Yes.
Jags. Like
Yes.
there's not much. Like Andy Dalton's back starting for the Bengals.
Yes.
There's it's just an odd season right now. There's a 10-2 team as the fifth seed in the NFC. Like it's a
Yeah.
weird NFL season this year.
The NFC is just a
A madhouse.
quagmire. Like,
It's crazy. It's
holy
crazy.
crap. And then my lucky star keeps shining on the Cowboys. It was like, be terrible, but also here's a playoff spot right for
I
the
think they
taking.
win the division. I think they win the
I think
division.
so too, by default.
Well, maybe, but I also think by Michael Bennett. Like I think him ripping everyone a new one after the loss to Buffalo. I think that's going to do him good. I have a personal feeling, and then they're going to bounce back this week against Chicago on the road, favored by 3 according to Vegas, and I think I like that. But it's just going to be a bounce back week for them, and I don't think they're going to stop. I think the Eagles are a much worse team than the Cowboys, personally.
Definitely, I think I've said this to a few. If y'all remember from the early episodes, Carlton and I have been talking, and another guy who I talk a lot of football with, and saying, "Can you name a more talented team than the Cowboys that are this bad, or does have a record of this?"
The Rams,
The
maybe
Rams.
not. They're not like they're one game better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah,
So maybe not the same record, but
yeah.
also a very talented team that is just underperforming,
I think
much like the
that's
Cowboys.
probably the best
I would think so.
I've
The
heard.
Lions have an unbelievable monstrosity of a roster, just unbelievably talented, but they're just underperforming a little bit. So maybe not.
Maybe. I would say I've heard Falcons being mentioned.
Yeah,
I would say on offense, yes, but if you look at that Cowboys defense, they should be
right.
better.
Right. No, most definitely. Cowboys are better than the Falcons.
Yeah, that might be because I live in Atlanta, so a lot of people are going to bring up the
That makes sense.
Falcons. But no, it's crazy, like you said, that Eli Manning is the biggest news heading into
Isn't
Week
that
14.
weird? Isn't that weird? You know what I mean? There's like little things that we could go on and find news, but I feel like this show we try to dedicate ourselves to the fans, so we don't want to go about like talking. Daryl Williams is injured and Spencer Ware was just signed by the Chiefs. Like,
Yeah, and
I'm not. I don't suggest anyone to go get him unless you have like a roster spot. You know what I mean? But you're definitely not starting Spencer Ware. There's just no reason to talk about that kind of news. Really, the big news is Eli Manning, which is
definitely.
no news because he is. It's not fantasy relevant, really.
And Kai Forbath was released the other day by the Patriot. No, let's actually head straight into the questions. As we have people joining this the show here, we got Mellofan. Let's shout him out as always. Happy to have you on board. Shane, what's up? We got 2 of our most dedicated listeners joining in on the stream.
Yes, love you guys.
And it's
Appreciate it.
fantastic to have y'all on board week in and week out. Even when we don't even show up, y'all ask where we are. So we're so happy to be back, and so happy to be
Yes,
back answering questions as
we
well.
we
So
won't leave you like that again. We
we
promise.
promise. It was
We promise.
very weird circumstances happening over here, and
Actually, we can't promise that. There's always life always goes on, but for the most part, you'll always catch us here on Wednesdays. So, from the West Coast to the East Coast, and everyone over in Sweden across seas, thanks for watching. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
appreciate it for sure.
thank you so much. And we actually have a comment before we get to the first question of the day from Shane saying, "Love you guys. I'm in the playoffs in 2 leagues because of us." And I wanted to just say that this is why we do this. And I've been saying this a few weeks now that just if we're doing something good, please let us know because that's why we're doing this. We like we're just sitting here answering questions or doing stuff, that's fun and all, but when we actually see that y'all are succeeding, that's the best praise we can get. So I love hearing that, Shane.
Yeah,
um,
appreciate it.
I want to shout out Miami Canes Production and Nicholas Corona as well, some of our other most loyal listeners. So happy to have both of y'all on board. And let's look at this first question from Mello. He actually brings up a player that we touched on briefly in Evan Ingram or Jared Cook. So let's assume that Evan Ingram is 100% healthy. You can't start Jared Cook over Evan Ingram, can you?
You would be crazy. And it's like, now is the time where like, it's almost okay to be cute. Like, you don't want to be too cute, but it's the playoffs. No, there is no, I'm just going to start my studs and hope that it works out. So you really have to dig deep into what's going to happen between these games, how these quarterbacks are going to come in, how Eli Manning is going to come in and adjust to the first game that he's seen since week 2 or 3 or whatever it was. Yeah. And you also have to take in, like, Drew Brees and how much has he been targeting Jared Cook. Like, there's a lot to take into consideration here. Coming down and just like getting the question right here, I obviously though will say Evan Ingram just because he gives you the best opportunity via volume, via opportunity to score touchdown. I like Evan Ingram, but that's a good one. Like, I definitely don't want to just chalk it up to Evan Ingram for sure. Please go do the research. I'll do a little bit more research, and if you've hit me up on Twitter, I'll give you an actual in-depth reason why I like A or B. But for now, I definitely like Evan Ingram.
Yeah, and I can give some more numbers into this whole thing that.
Please do.
For instance, the Eagles give up almost twice as many points. Not I'm exaggerating, but they give up on average 7 points to tight ends in standard scoring, while San Francisco give up 4.6.
Oh, you know what? I was looking at the wrong week. I did not realize New Orleans playing San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at. Anyways, yeah, definitely Evan Ingram. Keep going.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said
that. San Francisco is actually the third worst team for a tight end to play right now. So
yeah,
that's awful. And Jared Cook, I can see him scoring 11. I can see Evan Ingram being up in 14.
Right.
Only standard scoring. If we're talking PPR, add 3 points to Cook and 6 to Evan Ingram. I think he's gonna catch 6 balls. If he's playing, he's catching 6. If he's healthy and all that, 6 balls easily. He might not, catch 2 touchdowns, but 6 receptions easily in my mind.
Agreed, and that's going to be compared to Jared Cook's 2 or 3. I mean, look, like San Francisco held Mark Andrews to 3 receptions last week. Sure, he got a touchdown, 50 yards, but Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end. Yeah. Jared Cook is not a top 5 tight end. He will be held to 3 catches, 20 yards, and nothing.
Yeah. So
Evan Ingram.
Vikings or 49ers DST. And speaking of being cute, don't be cute.
You gotta be a little cute in fantasy.
Okay, New Orleans give up the least amount of points to DST.
Wait, what was it though? I'm sorry.
49ers or Vikings?
Oh, heard. Go ahead.
San Francisco plays New Orleans. They give up the least amount of points to DSTs on average, and adjusting for the last 3 weeks. They're a terrible matchup for a DST.
Horrible, but yet Minnesota is like the best matchup. Are you kidding me? You got Dave Blau coming in. Come on.
With that in mind. Doing the research, it shows that DST scoring is more impacted by your own defense than the opposing defense. It's only adjusted for like looking at correlations. It only impacts like 1.2 points per week. What your opponent does on average compared to what your team actually with interceptions and stuff like that.
Right. That's great. That's a great way to look at it. The defense, I feel like most people fall into the trap of who are they playing,
Exactly.
Who's playing Cincinnati? Who's playing Miami? Who's playing Washington? Who's playing Detroit? All these like this. But that's great.
It works in some extremes.
Right.
If you go back and look at was that 0-16 season with Cleveland, you look early games with Miami.
Yep.
And then you can look at Carolina a few weeks back. They were ranked as the worst run defense in the league, and they shut down the Falcons, who just ran over New Orleans.
Right. Yeah, that's football, baby. Exactly. Yeah. All you do is do your best, but.
But would you pick Vikings against Detroit?
Yes, every day, 100%. I'll put $500 down that they do better than 49ers defense against Drew Brees.
$500? Holy shit. Okay. So I'm not betting that.
Come on. But Dave Blau, now they got film on him too. Like, this guy is not about to do what he did against Chicago's defense. I can promise.
Hand it off to Bo Scarborough and let him run straight up the middle.
Oh, I love myself some.
I can't believe that he played that well against the Cowboys. We drafted him.
I know, and let him go.
I was so mad when we let him go.
I loved him coming out of Bama,
Yeah,
right?
USA
Yeah.
Bama.
Yeah. He was that guy, like he was the picture where it just looked like a monster walking through, and you're like, who is that guy? And I
I
believe
want
his
him
like
on my
high
team.
school. I believe his high school picture is him just looking like DK Metcalf last year before the draft. Like Bo was just a big man, and then the Lions got him, and then he started producing, and he's still producing better than Kerryon Johnson was. Not that he's better than Kerryon Johnson in any way, shape, or form, but he's producing more. I don't know.
I'm so disappointed in Carry On that he got hurt.
I know
He
that
was
was
one of my breakout candidates of the year.
you and me both. I got him on way too many leagues.
Yeah. Speaking of that, just want to touch on something from like week 2. Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson. Any change in if they're in the superstar club yet? How do you feel?
Lamar Jackson's a superstar. I'm pretty sure. I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
sure at the time I said he just needed to prove it, and I still stand by that. By week 2, he was not a superstar yet. He had blown up against Miami and did good against whatever team was next. He wasn't a superstar yet. Lamar Jackson has flipped the game on its head. It's unbelievable what this guy is doing. I am the biggest fan. I love seeing his interviews. I love the Baltimore Ravens team. Mark Ingram is maybe my favorite player in the NFL. I
Yes.
love him. Big trust, he says. In the flesh, Lamar Jackson. Like, Mark Ingram's the man. Lamar Jackson's the man. Dak Prescott, not a superstar.
Oof, that hurts. That hurts.
Worth a good amount of money. A very good quarterback. Not worth what he's asking for, and not a superstar.
With the cap going up all the time, though, you do have to pay him before they pay Mahomes.
Yeah.
You do.
Well,
You
yeah,
have to pay
right.
him before they pay Mahomes. Otherwise, you're effed.
Yeah. I don't know. Screw it. Let Dak walk. Let Cooper walk. Go get yourself.
Who?
I don't know. There's a ton of wide receivers coming out this year. This is the deepest wide receiver class. If you can't find someone in this class that's going to come out and be a stud, you can even draft 2 of them and let Gallup be your third year stud next year. And
he's breaking out next year.
Gallup?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I like him a lot. But then you have the option of maybe getting Justin Herbert if you want to move up, try to get like a Fromm. I'm not saying that these guys are going to be great, but Tua might be able to fall. Like, who knows what's going to go on with Tua? There's a lot going on. Try to get a new quarterback. Like, I mean, I guess try to pay Dak. I'm not saying that any of these quarterbacks are going to be better than Dak, but I also don't think Dak's going to win you a Super Bowl. I just don't.
Disagree.
Okay.
Also, I'm a homer.
And I would tell you that I think Matt Stafford could win you a Super Bowl, and most people would probably tell me that I'm crazy. So I get it. I understand. Homer for sure.
I think he could. I think even though Des caught it, I think y'all got shafted that year.
Yeah, you guys, we all like. I mean, it was. We got shafted. You guys got shafted. I'm pretty sure the Packers got shafted by the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
So it was a domino effect. Whatever. What are you gonna do?
Let's do some more shout out before we hit Shane's question here. We got Rocky Saki joining in the stream as well. Welcome to the show, man. Rocky Saki, that's a fantastic name. We have Shane wants to know about Drew Brees, Sam Darnold, or Fitzmagic. And just out of sheer luck, or luck, I don't know what to call this, I have them projected for 17, 17.1, and 17.1.
Stop. Who's the 17? Drew Brees?
Drew Brees.
Drew
But
Brees.
he's also less risky, not like I have him for only 55% risk of reaching this number. And
Sammy is like, got to be like, an 80% risk because he could literally just go 20 for 40 for 200 yards against the Dolphins defense. And we could see Fitzpatrick put up 3 touchdowns, or we could see that flipped. We could see that script flipped and see Sammy D come out and just light it up against Miami and Fitzpatrick not know what he's doing this. Or we could just see a division like who knows what's going to go on. I do think that Drew Brees is the third of them. I think both of these guys will outscore Drew Brees. And if I had to take my pick, I would just go with Sam Darnold over Ryan Fitzpatrick just because in my heart, he feels a little bit less risky. But
yeah, same here. And I think he to me, he actually has a little bit more upside.
Yeah, I can see that. If you look at his last week, disregarding last week, if you look at the 2 weeks prior to, he was like a top 5 quarterback each week, something like that. So
still managed to make me a few amount of dollars even with Sam Darnold as my quarterback last week.
Nice. How many fantasy leagues are you in, by the way?
4 this year.
How many playoffs did you make?
3 right now. I still have we have one league that is just a mess that we have to play another week and have
Oh, that's
our-
right. It's your week 17. You complain about it every time. I remember. Yeah, for sure.
Fudge, never doing that again.
Fudge. Oh, fudge.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
then
the best.
otherwise I'm in the playoffs and everything's good and happy. And now I gotta play one more week, and then somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I ended up going 8 leagues and 5 playoffs. So it was actually one of my down years. Last year, if we would have been doing this, I would have been 8 for 8 last year. It was great. Cashed out in like 6 of 8, but this year only playoffs in 5 of 8. It's because I jumped on the Damian Williams, James Conner, Kerryon Johnson train. Those were my 3 stud running backs for the year, and whoopsie daisy. Did not work, so whatever. We made it work, though. We're still in the playoffs in 5. Squeaked in. Listen to this real quick. I'm going to interrupt the show for this Monday miracle. I'm down 12.5 points last week, if everyone can just keep with us here. I had Kyle Rudolph. He had Tyler Lockett. I needed 13 points to win the game. Kyle Rudolph catches a one-handed ball to grab that touchdown and get 13 points. Tyler Lockett shut out of nowhere. I sneak my way into the 6th seed in my big money league, and it's a whole new season now, baby. We're in the playoffs, so it was crazy.
That Tyler Lockett 0 got me out of the playoffs in my last league.
Ooh, it got you out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
It helped me get into the playoffs. Had he made one catch for 1 yard, I'd be out of the playoffs. He didn't catch a thing, and Kyle Rudolph got it for me. It was a Monday. Can you imagine going into Monday thinking, I just need Kyle Rudolph to outscore Tyler Lockett by 13 points? And then I didn't watch the game because I didn't want to see my team get eliminated. So I look at the score, 37-30, and I'm like, well, there is absolutely no way Kyle Rudolph outscored Tyler Lockett if the Seahawks put up 37 points. Sure enough, though. Gods were on my side last week, baby.
If you need points on Monday Night Football, you should never watch. It will never happen if you watch it.
That's 100% true. Yep.
It's so sad, and it's like, oh, I just need Russell Wilson to score, like 35.
35.
Like, oh, that's not gonna happen. And then you go to sleep, and then next minute, oh, he scored 45.
Right. He put up 5 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. And you're like, oh my gosh.
But if you watch it, he's like 5 interceptions.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's funny. Anyways, I didn't mean to cut the show. I just wanted to say my Monday miracle. You know what I mean? Nick's Monday miracle.
This is what we do. We go down the rabbit hole. And while we're doing that, let's hit on some more questions. We got Mello wants to know about, I think he wants to know about Devontae Freeman, Cole Beasley, or Will Fuller or Golden Tate in PPR. So this is Devontae Freeman, Cole Beasley, Will Fuller, and Golden Tate in PPR.
I like that it circles our original news topic right back into it. Like, where's the Golden Tate line? You know what I mean? Like, you said you like him a little bit more because Eli's in, but do we like him more than these other guys? But one more time, give me those 4 names.
Cole Beasley, Will Fuller, Devontae Freeman, and Golden Tate.
PPR?
PPR. Denver is actually not a bad matchup for a wide receiver. I'm thinking Will Fuller for upside in a champion. If you're playing a playoff game here, yeah, it's a must-win, he says. It's a must-win week.
Yeah, baby, it's playoff time. Whether you're in the playoffs or the last week of your season, it's freaking playoff time, baby.
Yeah, you got to go upside, right?
Yeah, so what's your upside? Will Fuller?
Yeah, I think he has the biggest upside. Denver has been giving up points to wide receivers. I think he can score 0.1 or 20.3. The other guys are a little bit more structured. I don't think Devontae Freeman. Sure, Carolina give up a lot of points to running backs, but he hasn't been looking good at all when he plays.
Devontae? No, not at all. He's the one. He's out automatically. I'm not going with him.
And
so now to be honest, for me, I'm getting Cole out of there as well. I like what he did on Thanksgiving. 2 good weeks. He just like PPR. Like, I understand it. I like Buffalo. I just don't know if I like. I don't know if I like their matchup. But now I just all of a sudden think that matchup.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I can't buy into that so much. For me, it's down to Golden Tate and Will Fuller. And to be all honest, in PPR, I'm gonna go opposite of you, so we can mark this down for Carl versus Nick here. I'm going to Golden Tate. I think Golden Tate in PPR will have a better week than Will Fuller.
Let me put that down real quick before we move on. I got Will Fuller and you got Golden Tate in PPR.
Yeah. Philadelphia has allowed the 5th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Denver, the 25th most.
But
And then
if you
comes
adjust for the
when it
last
comes to the
three
slot
weeks,
against Philly, when it comes to the slot against Philly, that's nothing to forget about. Like I think that's a great matchup for Golden Tate.
oh, it's fantastic. I just want to mention if you adjust for the last 3 weeks, those rankings switch heavily in the favor of Will Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
Denver goes from the 25th to the 12th, so they've been struggling against wide
Like,
receivers.
right.
Golden Tate, New York,
And you know
well,
Chris
Philly,
Harris is going to be on
they are
new.
a little bit better over the last 3 weeks than they are over the entire year, but not by much.
Right, and that's great. You definitely want to go by the small sample size, like of the most current sample size. But we also got to think Philadelphia's been better because they've been playing Miami. Well, actually, no, they've been playing pretty good teams on Seattle and New England. So well done, Philadelphia. I still like Golden Tate to whoop you though. So give me Golden Tate. No backing out now.
No, you can't back out now.
Right.
Where are we moving forward? We got a lot of questions. Miracle Man joining in the chats. Welcome, sir. How you doing? I've lost completely where I was. We got Nicholas Carone.
Powerful name. Hold on, let's stop the show. Nicholas, my man.
Nicholas Carone. Where is Nicholas' brother though? I can't remember. They have a nickname for him. He's not here today. We got Nicholas Carone as I have Crowder, John Brown, Tyler Lockett, Alshon Jeffrey, and I missed this one. Devontae Adams. This is a long one. So I'm gonna say it one more time. Jason Crowder,
mm-hmm.
John Brown,
mm-hmm.
Tyler Lockett,
mm-hmm.
Alshon Jeffrey,
mm-hmm.
and Devontae Adams.
How many are we starting?
We're starting 3.
PPR?
I believe so. He's in first place and he's 10-3.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I mean, let's get to some guys who are trying to fight for their lives here. Yeah, you're starting Adams for sure. You're gonna start Lockett. Doesn't matter what he did last week, and it comes down to Jeffrey, John Brown, or Crowder. I mean, I don't know if I like Jeffrey playing the Giants. Excuse me. Yeah, Jeffrey. Start your boys.
I love Jeffrey this week.
I mean, I get why you might want to start Crowder against Miami. I understand. John Brown against Baltimore, no thank you. Right? Baltimore? Yeah, no thank you. I love me some Smoke Brown. And believe me, I wanted to say Smoke just so I could say Smoke, but it's not Smoke. He's the last one. I like the Jameson Crowder. If it's PPR, I can see you wanting to switch him out with
No, Jeffrey has nobody to steal targets from him.
No, but is Jalen Ramsey going to be on Tyler Lockett? So I can see you switch Lockett out for Crowder. But is this like playoffs? If we're in the playoffs, maybe it's time to get cute. That's what I'm saying. It's time to get cute sometimes. Play that matchup. If you're just like last game of the regular season, then I don't know. Start your boy. Who cares? You're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But it's also those players like Tyler Lockett and those guys who have been good over the season, if they struggle for a few weeks, usually they're due for a bounce back.
It's true, and Lockett has been struggling for a couple weeks, so let's see him. I want to see him get in there. I want to see him doing some surfing, jump up, him do some in-sync bye with with Demo and DK. So let's see Tyler Lockett have a bounce back week. I definitely would start him unless it's like do or die, must win. I'll get cute with Jameson Crowder and PPR over Lockett.
Yeah, I'm with you with that one. If it's do or die and I need to gamble big.
Right. What are your stat projections on those two, Lockett and Crowder?
I have Crowder for 7.5, Lockett for 9.1 with upside up to 17.
Okay.
On Lockett. So he has more upside in my opinion.
Yeah. Is Ramsey going to be on him? Is Ramsey going to shadow him? Probably not, right?
Probably not, no.
I don't think it's gonna so I'm not scared of starting Lockett. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a lot of points.
I just like Crowder against Miami a little bit more when it's like do or die because Lockett can get shut out. We just saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know,
but Crowder needs a touchdown to always be viable. If he doesn't catch the touchdown, unless he get like that week where he had what was it, 12 receptions?
12. Yeah. Trying to match Brandon Marshall's 18. Isn't that the record? Or maybe it's like 20-something, isn't it?
I honestly don't know.
Me either.
I'm looking at creating a video with reception leaders over the season to showcase that a little bit more. I think that's going to be interesting. I've
that'll be cool.
Bar chart races lately. So please check that one out if you haven't done so already, and see top 10 touchdown leaders of the Super Bowl era who led throughout the years.
Top 10 touchdown leaders. Is that what you said?
Yes, throughout the Super Bowl
Like it.
era.
Can't wait to watch it, baby.
It's an interesting view when all of a sudden Marino shows up.
Now we're getting a little crazy, and I like it.
It's just like, oh, that guy's in the lead for a few years, and then boom.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. We got Miami Kings. He's 9-4 in second place. Mellofan says that the Pistons are getting crushed right now.
All right.
That's
all
some
right.
shade coming out right there. We got
The Pistons, bro. They started out like looking all right, but they're letting me down. Yeah, we don't need to talk about the Pistons. Move on. All Detroit sports are awful right now. It's a horrible time to be a Detroit sports fan.
I'm with you on that with basketball and the Hawks. It's just, I don't know. I thought we were gonna be good, but
Atlanta Hawks.
I did, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm not saying like good. Just good.
I guess in the East, man, you could send out a high school team and they might have a chance of being good.
Yeah,
so
like, I'm not saying great, but like
right.
At least maybe 500.
Okay, right on. That's what I was thinking for the Pistons too. I can't complain. Right.
I at least got to see 2 Chainz.
What are we talking about basketball for? Man, our basketball teams suck. Let's get to football.
Ravens or Browns DSC for Miami Kings. Let's do this. Let's do hit a couple of these quick ones and do a segment we like to call Nick's Picks.
Nick's Picks, baby.
Nick's freaking picks. We got. I know we kind of lost track of it, so I
started over.
Somewhat started over. We got Baltimore Ravens or Cleveland Browns.
Okay, Baltimore Ravens playing at Buffalo. Very tough place to play. Cleveland Browns going up against Cincinnati with Andy Dalton back. Give me the craziness here, and I'm going to take Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I truly think that this divisional game is going to kind of get out of hand, and I think Cleveland's going to show up because they're a little embarrassed. They've been embarrassed past couple of weeks, and I don't think Baker's that bad of a quarterback. I think he comes out, man's up. There was a lot of stuff going on with the Myles Garrett issue and the whole thing that kind of took away the win against Pittsburgh. But now it's I don't even know. I think Cleveland just kind of got all scattered, and they're going to find themselves funnel back. Freddie Kitchens will get them on the right track, and they're going to get a big win against Cincinnati. Give me a defensive touchdown and a big defensive showing.
They're going to get back to that fantastic Cleveland thing they built over so many years of being trash, and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Baltimore's got the better team, but I just think Josh Allen's better than what we think. I think Buffalo's going to try to run the ball more, leaving less opportunities to be sacked, less opportunities for interceptions, less opportunities for defensive touchdowns. I think for the upside for a playoff week, need to freaking win. Let's go fucking crazy and let's go Cleveland.
Let's go fucking mental. Okay, that's high school.
Okay.
No, that we used to sing that back then. James White or
In Sweden?
Robinson. Yeah, let's go fucking mental. I'm
That's
gonna bleep that out. And then you don't drink underage.
No.
James White or Allen Robinson.
All right, James White, Allen Robinson. James White coming off of a huge day, coming out of nowhere. He hadn't had a huge day since 2016, but he's back. And Allen Robinson kind of just doing his thing in Chicago, right? Like it's what he does. But Dallas has a good defense. This is a
that deep ball lately, though.
Say that again.
Been struggling with that deep ball lately.
Yeah, I understand, but he's still getting your fantasy points. He's still relevant for sure.
Dallas.
Oh! I thought you were saying like Chicago.
No. Well, yeah.
That's like Chicago is.
Both of them. It works for both.
I see. I like as bad as Dallas might be with the deep ball. I don't have faith in Trubisky to actually throw a good deep ball. It doesn't matter. He's just got to throw a lot to him. To Allen Robinson. I don't know if I like James White on a back-to-back week, but to be honest, Kansas City like the worst defensive team when it comes to rushing. They're going to pound the ball with Sony Michel. Pound it. I believe he's going to have 22 carries for 120 yards in a breakout game. But I also like James White. If I had to start for the playoffs, like if I had to start one, this is so difficult. I hate starting guys on Thursday. Give me James White. Oh, I don't like it, but I'm going to say James White.
On a Thursday?
No, not James White's not on Thursday.
No, because it's the Falcons against Panthers, right? Yeah.
Wait, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Thursday was Dallas, Chicago. I'm quite positive Thursday's Dallas Chicago.
Am I
Unless
tripping?
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I guess to be honest, I don't have it right in front of me. But I could have swore when I was looking at.
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
why am I talking about the? I don't know. Dan Quinn confused me this morning on the radio.
Dan, damn it, Dan, Dirty
Yeah,
Dan.
he's like on at like 7.
I'm Dirty
Like,
Dan.
sounded
That's
super positive. Your team suck.
yeah. It does. So
James White.
I hate starting people on Thursdays. I hate it, man. I hate it,
Yeah,
especially in
it's
the playoffs, because then I don't know, and then it like sometimes hurts me. But I just hate being down and seeing my guy have like 5.6 points and just killer. I like Allen Robinson a lot, but I'm gonna go with James White. Let's go crazy. I could be 2-0 or I could be 0-2 easily after these first two. These are some good Knicks picks here.
With the matchup and Allen Robinson playing on Thursday, I have to go James White. I'm totally with you on that. I hate
Right.
the Thursday matchup. It's the absolute
Right.
worst. You just cancel Thursday Night Football for fantasy.
Right. Thank you. Exactly.
It's the worst.
Right.
We're gonna go. This is a triple one.
Ho!
On Knicks picks triple for the first time. We got Jacoby Brissett, Dak Prescott, Thursday night, or Josh Allen. This is Prescott against Chicago, Allen against Baltimore, and Jacoby against Tampa.
I'll talk you through why I'm going to pick what I'm picking. I like Josh Allen actually against Baltimore. I think he'll be able to score 17 to 20 points. I think this game is going to be a 27 to 20 victory for the Ravens. Josh Allen with a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, both of them. But I don't like his like yardage. I think he's probably going to be one of the lower ones. Dak going up against Chicago, that's going to be heavily run game for Dallas. Tony Pollard might even be worth like a super deep flex spot. Zeke's going to finally break out and get that game we've been waiting for. They're going to just run the ball against Chicago, and it's going to be run on Thursday. Take the under on the game. Take the Cowboys -3. Parlay them both. Anyways, but Jacoby Brissett has a fantastic matchup. Fantastic matchup against Tampa Bay. It is at Tampa Bay in the warm.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think, of a shootout pretty much. Now, I expected last game to be a shootout, and I wanted Jameis Winston on a few leagues, and it kind of burnt me. But they just jumped out to such an early lead that they didn't need Jameis Winston. It became the Peyton Barber show. But I don't think that's going to be the case this week. I think we're going to see a solid 34 to 30 game, and this is going to be one of the top 2 or 3 scoring games this week. So I like Jacoby Brissett to freaking do or die. You got to get crazy. You got to get cute a little bit. Let's go Jacoby Brissett.
I'm going Josh Allen.
I like Josh. The rushing touchdown.
This is the lowest I've had Dak Prescott in a lot of weeks.
Yeah, it's just like like Chicago is very vulnerable when it comes to the run game, and Dallas has been trying to get the run game going. So like it seems very much that Dallas's run game and Chicago's run defense is just going to allow Dallas to run out the clock, win time of possession, and win the game Jason Garrett's type of way, you know?
Yeah, the boring. No,
Well, that's true though. I mean, just the 4 or 5 yards every play, it's very boring. It's very boring.
Yeah.
That's not even like I like it because it's defensive. That's not a defensive game. That is just high school Division 8 run the ball game.
Yeah, I've been a Jason Garrett defender for so many years now because I like consistency. I'm like, you gotta let it be. He's one.
Is it time for him to go?
I think so. Now my patience has run out, and I'm usually the first one to be like, give them time.
But why?
Time. Let him.
Why is it time for him to go right now? Like, what is it?
Not today, but if they don't make a deep run, they have to go to the NFC Championship game. Otherwise, it's time.
So if they win the division, you're telling me that you think it's time to get rid of him?
Even if they win the division, because they haven't done it in a convincing way.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're going to win it by default. But
if the Eagles just played like the Eagles have in the last couple of years,
who are you going to go get? Jim Harbaugh? Who are you getting?
No, I think the
Kellen Moore.
His name? No, not Chris Richard.
Okay, well,
The Oklahoma guy.
Would you rather get rid of Kellen Moore? Would you rather Why are you? Is it because the defense isn't working? Is it because the offense isn't clicking? Is it because the team's just not gelling?
Yeah, I think it's the team that
is
having.
The team likes Jason Garrett?
Huh?
Don't you think the team likes Jason Garrett? It seems like Jason Garrett.
They don't anymore. I think they've come to the point where some of them are like it's coming out more and more that he's not meshing with players mentally.
And that's a perfect reason to get rid of him. Time to move on.
Yeah, if you're not connecting, like look at what's his name, Carroll, when he wasn't connecting with the players, but he was a winner to the point where okay, let's get freaking rid of the players, get some new ones that he can recycle what he's done,
right?
And it's working again,
right?
Garrett never been a winner, so what's he gonna recycle?
Right.
Because you can't be like Belichick. He'll let you know you'll win if you do what I want.
Yep.
So what are you gonna say? No, I want to play my way. Like if you play the Garrett way, like okay, I guess we'll maybe win the NFC East every other year.
Right.
Nobody does that.
I agree. It's just the only reason I agree is because you have given him the opportunity, and a year after year after year, he's the longest tenured coach without like a Super Bowl win. He's the longest tenured coach without like 2 playoff wins or 3, whatever it is. It's just time. But yeah, that's a rabbit hole we just went down. We don't need it to be. I don't think anyone's playing fantasy head coach over here. So.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, actually, there is a thing on ESPN that you can do that, but I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on it.
Let's look at Devontae Parker, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, and Chris Godwin in PPR, and we need 2 of those.
Say it again. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Parker,
Allen Robinson, Devontae Parker, and Chris Godwin. And I'm gonna start with this one because I want in PPR, I want Chris Godwin number 1. Most
definitely. Number 2 wide receiver in the league, playing in what I just said could be the second highest scoring game of the week. So, yes.
Yes. And with this is weird. It has nothing to do with him. But with Todd Gurley looking like Todd Gurley, I want Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp in PPR if Todd Gurley is Todd Gurley.
You can't sit Cooper Kupp for Devontae Parker or Allen Robinson.
Thank you. Because I can't see, in looking at my numbers, I'm just staring at myself blind. I can't do it.
Devontae Parker very well could outscore Cooper Kupp this week. Very well. Jets defense, piss poor secondary. Piss poor. Devontae Parker has gained all the trust and has now, like, as much as I want to say this is just the Devontae Parker of the past, he's only going to let us down. It has been like 8 weeks and this guy is like a top 10 wide receiver. Like, he is a must start. Cooper Kupp is not a must start in comparison to Devontae Parker. Look at the last 10 weeks. Tell me who has been a better wide receiver. Last 8 weeks, I guess. Not 10, but last 8 weeks. It's Devontae Parker. Like, Devontae Parker is a stud.
But he's in every other game. Look at his scoring. It's every other game.
Who we got the every other game? You always got to look for that every other game pattern, dude. That's like
Andy Dalton a few years back.
I'm a huge believer in that, man. I'm a huge believer in that.
Yeah, and it's always the away game, and this is.
Look at you. Okay. So you're saying go with. I mean, like I said, you can't sit Cooper Kupp for Devontae Parker. You just can't do it.
He's at 1 game with double-digit fantasy points this year that was not at home. 1 game. Otherwise, it's 5.6, it's 5.9, 6.9, and 9.1.
We're talking about like on the road here. I mean,
yeah,
he's not.
Parker. But look at the away games. He's. The home games.
Catching 60 yards, a touchdown every other. Like, it'd be all right. Well, 1 out of every 5. But I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. But the Jets. But again, like.
The Jets have been good against receivers, though. And don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know how many people. I don't
just
know.
Just like a 30th worth defense.
Mello, Nicholas, anybody, Matt Quest, welcome to the show, man. Y'all can confirm how many times I said start Devontae Parker on Sunday. I legit told everybody to start Devontae Parker.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
So I'm not like a Devontae Parker hater anymore.
I feel like every Wednesday you're saying Devontae Parker is just the guy who's going to do us no good like he did every other week, every other year. Am I wrong about that? Maybe I'm getting my pods.
I've said that in the past. But last week I was very adamant to start him. But I've been...
Yes, me too. Glad I did.
He's been right below 35. Corey Davis in my hate scale.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric Ebron is number 2. I don't know. Devontae Parker, Eric Ebron. There's like people that have burned me, that have wronged me.
Yep, most definitely. I understand that. I have some sellers, some people in the well I won't go back to as well. But
But you're
yeah,
selling Devontae Parker. I know we're going into the rabbit hole and we only have 12 minutes left. I know
I
we have a
know.
bunch
No,
of
Cooper Cup.
questions.
Gotta start Cooper Cup. Not starting Devontae Parker. Give me Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup, thank you. Cooper Cup
Cooper
and
Cup.
Chris Godwin. I know
Yep.
we have a buttload of questions left, and if we
Okay.
don't get to your question, please hit me up on Twitter. Hit Nick up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, shout out your Twitter handle.
Hey, please go follow me at Nick Faber NFL. Always doing podcasts. I got something in the works right now that's going to blow everyone's minds. It's going to be great. We have a great kind of TV-esque program in the works. It's going to be very fun. I'm always doing this show on Wednesdays live. Catch us from the West Coast to the East Coast and overseas in Sweden and everywhere else. And then I'm always doing the Daily Blitz podcast. Make sure you listen to that. Actually, has also been on hiatus for a little bit due to a couple computer error problems. But we're all getting back together. We're all getting it going. And throughout the off season, make sure you're listening. Follow me and ask these questions. It's playoff time, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, and I said ask us on Twitter. You can, of course, comment on this video here on YouTube as well after the show. But
Yes.
we still have 10 more minutes. So, because Melo said he wished he had a Twitter. Yeah, but you can always hit us up here on the YouTube channel as well.
But you got to get a Twitter, bro. It takes 10 seconds. Follow us. It's the only people you need to follow. Follow me and follow Carl, and your timeline, your line is set, bro.
Perfect. This is why we come to Nick for advice. This is why we come to him for advice. So if we don't reach your question, don't be afraid. We'll reach it another time. But let's see where I lost track. Let me shout out to my Joy joining the stream as well. I said hello to MathQuest earlier. Miracle Man said it's great to be here. Glad to hear that. Rodney is the Nicholas Caron's brother's name. Everybody's saying Rodney. He's not
What
here.
up, Rodney?
Why isn't Rodney here? Rodney.
Where's Rodney at? I thought he was here. I thought you were saying.
For like 10 minutes on Sunday was hilarious.
That's awesome. Damn.
We got Miami Case wants to know. This is a tight end question. It's good. I don't think we've talked too much about tight ends in the start of the show. We got Greg Olsen, Kyle Rudolph, Jason Witten, and Gerald
Tight end we
Everett.
got. I barely have more than one tight end on my team. What's going on here?
Dallas Goddard. Yeah, I don't know how you can have this many, but it might be a DFS
Man,
situation.
I hope you're in a 2-point PPR league for tight end premium league, because if not, you've got way too many tight ends. We need to talk about. Let's talk off screen about this.
I think Miami had something like this with quarterbacks as well. So he mentions.
So this must be like a 70-player roster here.
Yeah, and not like I think he has a pretty deep waiver wire.
Oh, these are all waiver wires, is what you're saying.
So
It's like a 6-man league. Okay, heard. Who do we got? Rudolph, Goddard,
Gerald Everett, Greg Olsen, Jason Witten.
Well, you can 86, Everett, Olsen, and Witten. Rudolph or Goddard? That's basically the question here. Probably Rudolph, because he's been having literally lights on and lights out. Oh, he's playing Detroit. Yeah, too. I forgot about that. God, I cannot even look at the Lions anymore. Zach Ertz, is he healthy?
I don't think he was on here, though.
Last I knew, Zach Ertz wasn't healthy. But maybe I'm crazy, and maybe I'm just crazy.
They expect him to play.
They expect him to play.
I still
all day. Kyle Rudolph, easy for me.
Yeah, I like Kyle Rudolph.
Man, you're quiet over there. You sure?
Yeah, I was just looking over because for some reason I was like, Zach Ertz?
No, I was talking about Goddard. I just want to know first.
Yeah. No, like Kyle Rudolph, especially in our PPR league, I have him way above the other ones. I would like to ask you though, who is Gregory Faber?
Oh, that's my cousin.
Let's show this comment then. He says
he's killing it.
F Twitter.
Oh, come on, Greg. He's old. It's all right, man. These guys, everyone in my home league, they're old. They can barely look at their phones. They got their glasses on. They're looking. So I understand. Facebook. That's what I'm saying. That's why I put it on Facebook though, because you got the old people still on Facebook.
I posted I wrote your Twitter handle in the chat, and right after he's like F Twitter.
I love you, Greg. I'm just joking, brother. You're not old, man. We sat and talked about Sublime for like 4 hours after our draft for this year, so I love him. He's a great guy.
Where did I drop off? We got Rashard Penny, Darius Guys or AJ Brown in a PPR league from Miracle Man. Rashard Penny. I am struggling so hard with spelling his name so many times right now. There we go.
I don't.
Darius Guys, also
Right.
a player.
Which
I told
isn't it
people
crazy? Let's
about.
shout out Washington real quick. Last week, having 2 running backs damn near hit 100 yards. Geis with like what, $120, and AP with like 99 yards. They just ran the ball against Carolina. It was crazy. But I know Green Bay is not good against the run. I like Geis probably over all these guys.
And PPR, I do.
Like
as
who was
well.
it? Geis and what were the other 2? Just make sure I'm correct.
Rashard Penny and AJ
Yeah.
Brown. I don't want AJ Brown.
I don't want AJ Brown, and I think it's still the Chris Carson show. I think Penny has been doing well the last couple weeks and getting his opportunity, getting more opportunities. But let's be realistic; it's still the Carson show.
Yeah, and Guys to me has more upside. Even like I love, not necessarily this week, but Rashard Penny and Chris Carson. Their schedule is fan freaking tastic.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams give up 12th
Carolina, Arizona, baby. What?
The Rams give up 12th most amount of points to two running backs. Then they have the Panthers. They're like the second worst.
Like I
And
just
the
said.
Cardinals. It's just gold. I
Yeah,
believe
but
it's gonna
but
run
also
over.
but also you see, in Carson's getting 19 carries and Penny's getting 13 carries. Though it worked out last week, and it could work out. Like you never know. Both of that could equal 60 yards and 50 yards, and one of them getting a touchdown, and could burn you because it's a split carry. Like it's looking like, oh, this is the D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart team of the Panthers, but it might not be like that. And Rashad Penny could easily burn you. Give me the trust.
Safer one.
the
Safer
sa-
one.
exactly.
But like I say, he's safer. But I also think he has more upside in Guys.
I love Geis, dude. He's the boy. He's my boy. And against Green Bay, the big thing though is that game script could easily take Geis right out. Right? What if Aaron Rodgers goes at home against Washington and puts up 3 touchdowns in the first quarter? Now all of a sudden you're not running the ball at all.
You're gonna have to pass it to him because he's
And
still your
Geis
most
is
explosive
better than
player.
AP, and I get that for sure, but he's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like Geis. Geis is the guy I'm going with for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, can't you see a shootout potentially with the Rams and Seahawks?
Yeah, I can. I can
Where
see it.
you like, yeah, we can't run the ball because.
But
like,
isn't
all of a
Penny
sudden-
the best pass catcher in that backfield too?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm gonna go with Geis.
Yeah, me too. I don't even know why we're trying to make it Penny.
I do like AJ Brown though. I know you said you kind of wrote him right off. Tennessee. I'm actually starting Tannehill in a few leagues. Oakland's got a pretty bad defense. They've been letting up a lot of points. Like what if Sam Darnold and the Jets go out there and put up 38 points against you? I'm probably gonna start the next people again. Kansas City did pretty good against Oakland as well. I don't mind AJ Brown. I just don't think he's gonna do better than Geis or excuse me. Who were we just talking about?
Rashard Penny.
Thank you, Rashad. Well, actually, he probably does do better than Rashad Penny. I don't think he'll do as good as Geis, though.
Yeah, I have AJ Brown.
AJ Brown's like the best wide receiver for Tennessee, for sure. If you want to own any wide receiver, it's AJ Brown.
Yeah, but that's like saying, okay, I didn't have a good saying, but that's just because I like to hate on Corey Davis.
I was going to say something, too, but I don't know how 2019 appropriate is anymore. It's a great line from Waiting, but I'll reserve. That was 2005. It was funny.
It was, yeah, like, we said we were going to party like 1999. We don't have to speak like it's 1999.
Right, exactly. 2019. You can't say that anymore.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
And I don't even know what he's planning to say. Should Miami Canes drop James Conner? Is this first question? Miami Canes, is this your 16 league? Because if so,
Right.
yes, 100%.
Wait, what? What's happening right now?
If
You said
it's
16-team league?
No, 6.
Oh, six.
Six.
Yes. That is hilarious. I thought you said 16,
Oh.
and I'm like, wait a minute, that would be the one league I don't want to drop James Conner in just because there's no one out there. But yes. If you are sitting here battling like these guys, like Kyle Rudolph out there on waiver wire and good running backs on waiver wire, sure. Why are we keeping James Conner at this point? Even if he comes back, do we have the faith in him to play against? Like, oh, I mean, Arizona, Buffalo, Jets. Buffalo, no. But the
Jets, no. I don't want.
Jets either. Yeah, exactly. So, like, what are we keeping him
It's
for?
one game.
It's one game. Arizona this week, yeah. I don't know. Is he playing this week? Last I knew he wasn't.
I think he's probable or questionable right now.
Last I knew he was questionable, trending towards doubtful, but
Limited in Wednesday's practice.
limited in Wednesday's practice.
Yeah, and Juju didn't play.
I'm not starting him regardless, even if he
Yeah,
plays.
no.
Because all he is one play into the first quarter like 2 weeks ago, and he doesn't come in, and Jalen Samuels ends up getting 25 points, and he's sitting on your bench while James Conner gets you 4 points on your starting roster. It's just not worth it.
And you lose your fantasy playoffs.
And then you lose the playoffs because you started James Conner, the guy you wasted a first-round pick or second-round pick on early in the August, and now he has literally came to bite you in the ass in December. Just don't do it, man. Let's get cute. Let's try to fucking start. Who else is out there? I don't know. Give me some names. I'll tell you who else to start.
Speaking of that, though, like
Roster.
James Conner in the first round, if you followed CST Fantasy, you did not do this.
If you followed me favor, you did do that. Whoops.
But you did spend a 5th-round pick on Mark Ingram, and you've been riding that train all year long. Let's do one more question before we sign off. And if we, like I said before, if we missed your question, don't worry. Leave a comment down below on this video as it loads up, or hit us up here or on Twitter at Nick Faber NFL or at CST Fantasy, and we will answer your questions as soon as we can.
Time is flying, man. That's crazy. What a show. What a show.
At the time, and it was like we'd done 38 minutes. I'm like, oh no, we got plenty of time, and then no.
10 o'clock, just like that. It's sad.
Crazy.
We're gonna have to make a 2-hour show.
We got MathQuest saying Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp. No, is this Amari Cooper or Cooper Kupp?
It just says Cooper. Come on.
Amari, right?
Come on, rookie. No, I'm just joking. I love you, brother.
It gotta be Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, I mean, if every other name is like the last name, I'm.
Last names.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Name. So we got Devontae Parker, Courtland Sutton, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Lockett. Pick 2 receivers, please. MathQuest, is this PPR?
Dude, how about Courtland Sutton just having a day with Drew Lock last week? Woof!
Also,
he came out to play.
To top my own horn. Called it.
Yep.
It late 2018.
Yep.
Courtland Sutton will have a breakout 2019.
His
receiving trends is the best in the league of any rookie.
And
next year.
My offseason prediction was that this guy was going to be the next Demaryius Thomas for Denver. Yeah. And I still believe that. Watch out for Courtland Sutton to have 4 or 5 straight 1,000-yard receiving yards. He is the man.
Oh, yeah. Even he reminds me. Demaryius Thomas is a good one. But who I've been thinking of is DeAndre Hopkins with terrible quarterbacks. Like, he's still putting up points, even though, like, oh, here's Brandon Allen. Here is Drew Lock. Right.
That's a great comparison because we all have seen that. And it was funny to see the Twitter, someone's about trying to defend Odell Beckham Jr. If he had better quarterbacks, he'd be a better receiver. And then someone's like, well, look at DeAndre Hopkins. He did pretty good without them. So, but I like the comparison. I do like me some Courtland Sutton. But this week we're talking Devontae Parker, Courtland Sutton, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, right?
Devontae Parker, Sutton, Cooper, Lockett. Yes. And let's do PPR.
Man, this is really tough because, to be all honest, I want to start like the 2 guys that shouldn't be started, in Sutton and Parker. I'll probably go with Lockett and Sutton as my top 2. Sitting Amari Cooper against Chicago. I don't like the matchup, and it's no time to just start your studs for the willy-nilly here.
Yeah.
Give me Sutton and Lockett.
Amari Cooper is my least favorite.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. Like, it was between Parker, Sutton, and Lockett for me, for sure. I immediately knocked out Cooper. I'm not starting him in my Dynasty League.
And in PPR, I will have to sit Tyler Lockett.
Sit Tyler. Let me give you one real quick.
No. I will have to. No. Wait.
You're not sitting Lockett. You going Parker, Sutton?
I'm going Parker, Sutton.
Parker, Sutton. All right, so put it up. Carl versus Nick. Parker versus Lockett. I'm taking Lockett. You're taking Parker, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's put that up. And then I got a question for you, too. Would you start Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel?
Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel. Okay, this
PPR.
I gotta get him up. Deebo.
Yeah, pull him up. For just so everyone knows, I personally am starting Debo in Dynasty. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not changing, but I want to see what Carl has to say as well.
I gotta go Amari.
Heard? I love it.
Yeah.
You can't, go away from the top guys. I understand, but again, I'm gonna go a little cute, and I'm starting Debo. He's just been hitting it up. I like it. He's playing New Orleans. I'm not too worried about it. Give it to me.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, I don't trust Amari that much right now.
Right.
But I trust him more than Debo.
Yeah, Debo train.
The potential to go crazy, if that makes sense.
Right? No, it does. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what's the upside with Debo? 13. What's the upside if Amari has an Amari game? 20 standard scoring.
Debo's upside 20, 22, and that's what I'm projecting this week.
22.
112, 7, and 1.
17 in a PPR. Is that too low?
I mean, I don't think it's too low. It's actually kind of fair, but I'm going to go just a little step higher because I need him in my fantasy league. So if the confidence makes it happen, you know what I mean? Got to believe.
Yeah.
Believe it to see it.
No, that's true. And like we said, if you don't watch, it's going to happen.
That's true too. Turn off your TV for all of fantasy. Just go out and enjoy family time. And or if you don't have family, just sit with your nose in the corner. And about 11 o'clock Eastern, go check your fantasy league.
No, definitely. Before we sign off, though, Miami Kings Production says, I've been wanting to tell you that I've started to make content, and you have been a big inspiration, so wanted to thank you. Thank you so much. And he wants to know if you have a YouTube channel, Nick.
This right here. Right. Every Wednesday. Check out Fantasy Rabbit Hole.
Also, Miami, leave a link to your content, whatever it is, if it's video, audio, infographics, statistics, writing, whatever it is. Leave a comment or a link to it on one of the YouTube videos here, and I'll check it out.
Yeah, me too.
So thank you all so much for joining us here on this live recording of the Fantasy Rabbit Hole. So sorry if we couldn't get to one of your questions, but if you want your questions answered, please leave a comment down on one of the YouTube videos here on the YouTube channel. Also, check out the score projection and risk analysis for Week 14 coming out tomorrow on ctfantasy.com. You can also go there right now to check out the playoff preparations where we talk more about Sterling Shepard and Philip Lindsay, who have fantastic matchups together with Alshon Jeffrey.
Hold on, let me interrupt real quick. Someone offered me a trade, Le'Veon Bell for Philip Lindsay in the last 3 weeks of the playoffs here. Philip Lindsay has Kansas City, Detroit, and whoever. The best matchup there is. Le'Veon Bell has an all right matchup, though, for the first 2 weeks, I believe. I don't have it up right in front of me. I kind of closed everything down. Heard. But exactly, what do you do? Le'Veon Bell, 12th ranked wide running back in my league that this is being proposed in, or Philip Lindsay, 14th best?
We have Baltimore and Pittsburgh then, after.
Oh, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, yeah.
I don't like that.
But Philip Lindsay has Royce Freeman taking carries away left and right.
Yeah, I hate him.
And it's just Le'Veon Bell in New York. It's just Le'Veon.
Run the ball.
Yeah, but against Baltimore, you're going to probably have to throw it because they're going to be down a lot, and that's a lot of checkdowns to Le'Veon, right? If you're down 40-10, you're going to see checkdown galore to Le'Veon.
PPR, Le'Veon, standard, Lindsay.
Stop it, bro. In PPR, I kept Lindsay and I turned down Le'Veon. Don't tell me that. Get out of here. Let's end the show.
This has been the Fantasy Rabbit Hole with CST Fantasy and Nick Faber. I will see you again next Wednesday.
Peace.
Peace.